Welcome once again to another installment of Shoot Conversations with Chris Hero. I am fortunate to bring to you a wonderful guest today. Whether you want to call him Johnny Curtis, you want to call him Fandango or Fandango, Dirty Curdy, Dirty Dango, the Portuguese Sun Dragon, Johnny Armadillo.
Johnny Armadillo? Holy shit!
Here he is.
Someone's done his research.
Hey, thank you so much for being here, dude.
Thanks for having me,
I'm
man.
very excited to get into this.
We just ran into each other a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and
I haven't seen you, in a couple years?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. And I think what's cool is we've been around each other, but it's like we will see each other a couple times and then we'll talk about a bunch of random stuff, and then we don't see each other for another year or two. And then just because
wrestling life,
I came into FCW when you were on your way out finally, and then well,
no, you're right.
I mean, they left you in limbo forever.
Yeah.
But you lived in Tampa, so we would kind of see each other out on the weekends and stuff. And
man, I was Mr. Dale Mabry back in the day.
Yeah, Dale Mabry. you know what's funny about Dale Mabry? When Pee Wee Herman got arrested for indecent exposure, you remember that, right?
Yeah, of course.
When he was arrested, he told them his name was Dale Mabry.
Did he really?
Yes. I have not corroborated this. I heard this once and have kept it in my brain. But
shit, I remember doing a show for Kern at the old FCW arena, and I look over and fucking Pee Wee Herman's standing there.
Yeah.
Like, is that Pee Wee Herman talking to Nick Nemeth?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
No shit, cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
I guess he's a big wrestling fan, right?
Yeah, big supporter, Nice
guy.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah, how funny.
Dale Mabry.
Dale Mabry. Yeah, good stuff. Man, so, I'm gonna hit you with some good stuff here, but we got to start at the top, man. July 22nd, 1984, Baby Boy was brought into this world.
83, bro. Yeah. Fuck, cut.
83. Cut. So, that was it, Wikipedia?
Dude, they said I was... My girl met me, and she looked me up on Wikipedia and said I was like 45 or some shit. So I guess anyone with a Wikipedia account can go in and be like, edit. Fandango likes cats or whatever.
So. Okay, sorry.
83.
So
actually, I should have said 84.
Basically, what I was saying is on July 22nd, 1984, you were celebrating your first birthday.
Yeah, we were partying hard, man.
You hadn't gotten into the business yet, but you weren't
I was born into the business.
Yeah. Man, so tell me a little bit about growing up. What kind of family did you have?
My folks got divorced in 83, the year I was born, which a lot of kids, I guess our age, their parents, I think was a high divorce rate. Lived with my grandparents for a while growing up. Eventually moved to a trailer park in Standish, Maine, which was a little town about 30 minutes west of Portland, which you probably heard of Portland. Big baseball family. Dad played baseball. Grandfather played baseball. Moved into a trailer park, kind of a rough neighborhood. My dad drove truck, single dad, and there's probably 25 young boys my age that lived in this probably 200 unit trailer complex. So a lot of kids my age. My cousins lived there. They were diehard wrestling fans. So probably at the age of 10 to 15 is when I really discovered professional wrestling.
Any siblings or only child?
Older sister, half brother that I haven't seen since I was 4. My mom just passed away last year. She dealt with addiction for most of her life. I got to rekindle that relationship about a year ago. Got to say goodbye to her. That's nice. Which was nice. And I've been sober. I'll be sober 3 years in January.
Well,
so
damn.
Yeah. So that's why I said Mr. Del Mabry. So you met me back in FCW. If anybody watching this, anybody in the Tampa area from circa 06 to
bumped into you at the lodge.
I apologize because shit. I'd run into like some random dude. I'm getting off track here, but that's what I do. I'd ran into some like kid at a gym in Ohio on the road. He'd be like, man, I was in developmental with you, man. You remember that time we all went out and you bought us all shots? And I'm like, nope. And I don't even remember you, but good to see you, bro. So
hey, at least you bought him shots.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That was my thing. so I was like Andy Dufresne. I know you want to get the story of my life here, but I'm going to go off course. But I was like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption, where I was in developmental so long, Kern kind of just gave me the keys to the. I was like, I had the warden in my back pocket. I was there for like 7 years, and they're like, I think at one point he's like, I don't know if they're ever going to call you up. Do you want to coach or start producing? So I started like helping put together matches on live events. But that was my thing. Young kids would come into the territory or the developmental system, I guess. And back then, it's like, he can work a little bit, but what kind of guy is he? Take him out. That's how we kind of figured out what type of person they were. And, was he cool? Was he, not like we take him out and haze him and make him drink, but just hanging out with the boys. Would he do karaoke? And
you perform better too when you're more relaxed and more comfortable. You can get people out of their shells.
And it's just we'll come back to that. But I grew up little town, Standish, and when we moved in the trailer park in the early '90s, that's when we really I started getting into wrestling. And there was a lot.
Is there a moment of first time you saw wrestling, or first time you started to enjoy it?
We always watched. It was always on growing up. Obviously with Hogan and guys our age with wrestling being so big. But I remember like the early '90s watching WCW, and I don't know why I remember Steamboat and. Was it Shane Douglas wearing the hoods tagging? Yeah. I don't know why the fuck I remember that.
Red and green.
Yeah. And I remember that like it was yesterday. I don't know. I don't know
against the Hollywood Blondes.
The Blondes, and they did like a cage match or something. I don't know why. That must have been like 92, 93, 94, somewhere around there. But I remember that. And then I wasn't a diehard until probably 96, 97. That's when I started really getting into it, because in the neighborhood I grew up with, there wasn't that much to either you kind of get in trouble. There's a lot of drugs. I kind of fell into wrestling, and it kind of like kept me away from all of that, in a weird way, where some of the kids that were a little bit older than me were kind of falling into that scene, the drugs, smoking pot, drinking. I never did any of that, and I would go to. I started finding these local independent shows and just became a big wrestling fan. And I kind of credit that wrestling kind of kept me away from that, And but obviously '98 came around, and that's when wrestling blew up. And
were you class of '02? Is that what?
'02. Yeah,
I was class of '98.
Yeah,
so I was coming up just a little bit earlier.
But the thing was, I never finished school. I left when I was 16, 17, and I moved to Boston to start putting up rings. And I just knew that I wanted to be in the business, and I just thought, and this is don't take this as advice by any means, but I just thought school was a waste of my time, because I saw a lot of these people that knew calculus and trigonometry and ancient history, and they were doing jobs. These teachers were doing jobs that they hated, and like, why would I want to finish school if I already know that I want to be on the road wrestling? I don't know. But I left school when I was 16 and started running the roads.
Did you catch any wrestling shows when you were a kid growing up? Did you go to anything live?
Yeah. The local WWE ran WWF ran Portland a lot. They used to run TV there. I remember ECW shows. I remember the Hammerstein, which was really cool in like I think 2000 or 2001. Yeah. Right around the time I broke into the business. Yeah. Or actually started wrestling. Yeah. But didn't have a lot of money when I was a kid to do that. Yeah. So but I definitely remember the Hammerstein me and a buddy of mine going down to fucking New York from Maine. That's cool. When I think they were doing the tag tournament down there in 2000. And
so maybe the FBI and Whipwreck.
Whipwreck and Tajiri. I remember getting up in the bleachers and just being like, wow, this is the Hammerstein Ballroom. Yeah. And we look over, and there's this dude over in the corner smoking crack. and we're like these two kids, 16, 17, from fucking the little town of Maine. I'm like, what the fuck? ECW. ECW. There's these guys, it might have been pot, but I don't know. It looked like a crack pipe because it was clear. And they're like, I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. ECW.
Yeah.
ECW.
Little sidebar here from my career. There's a guy that started. I was working for IWA Mid-South twice a week, and the locker room was a little Wild West-ish, whereas it's just nothing too bad, but it's for a 19 or 20-year-old, you're like, wait, what's going on? People are fighting or whatever. A buddy of mine came in and worked for IWA, and it was his first weekend, and he was just a sweetheart of a guy, but just a little more sheltered. And then I was talking to him on Instant Messenger the week after, and I was like, hey man, how was your experience? What'd you think? Whatever. And he's like, oh, I had an awesome time. The crowd was great, but I'm not gonna lie, there's one thing that did catch me a little off guard. And I was like, yeah? He's like, some guys were doing drugs, right? And I was like, so IWA wasn't very crazy with drugs. I was like,
it wasn't ECW.
No, there were no, yeah. So I'm like,
oh,
maybe some guys smoke a little pot or something, or maybe there's guys with some pills or whatever, just kind of lower on the end of drugs.
Yeah.
And he goes, can you smoke weed out of a pipe? And I said, yes, you can. He goes, oh, thank God. I thought they were all smoking crack.
Maybe. So those guys up in the Hammerstein,
might have been smoking weed.
I've been telling people it was a white pipe, so I just assumed. But I guess it's better than shooting Nubane in your dick. So.
Which that would have been saved for.
Just fucking up the just like. Dude, when I first started wrestling, GHB was legal. I remember the boys had that. They could buy it at GNC and shit. That's how long we've been around. I remember they used to buy G, and that was like their thing. They'd finish their match and then have a little sip.
Yeah.
And it wasn't illegal. It was like an over-the-counter gimmick. And then the guys, of course, wrestlers would figure it out that if you take it and don't go to sleep, you get fucked up off it. So
there was also the urban legend that if you had a meal with 3,000 or 4,000 calories, or something,
they were all
just take GHB after, and it won't.
The boys
it won't go to fat.
The boys are like fucking chemists.
Yeah.
They become really good at math. So you could figure out, all right, so we did a little blow in Mexico and the drug test's on Monday. So if it's pure cocaine, we have this many hours, but we're on Central Time Zone, but we're flying to Newark, so add an hour for they become really good at math and chemistry. What the dude,
oh shit. Okay, so baseball family. So you must have played a little baseball.
I played Legion ball till I left to go on the road till I was about 17.
Any other sports you enjoyed?
Track. Dude, I was setting up rings when I was 15, 16. I was telling brother on the way over here that I would get $50 to set up a ring down in Boston area, and then $50 to ref. So back then, some states you needed the commission needed a referee license. Yeah. So you need a ref, a manager, or a wrestler's license. Yeah. Which they considered old Dickie White, the old commissioner up in Maine. It was still wrestling and boxing, so they still treated it as a legitimate. Not saying professional wrestling isn't, but obviously it's entertainment. Yeah, you fucking know. Yeah, but they treated it as this is a sport. So they'd ask you you're the referee, and they treated you as a professional referee. So I would ref for 50, set the ring up for 50 a night, so $100 a night. Gosh. And I do that.
Making more than guys on the card.
No, so we do we'd work for Joe Eugenio or Steve Ricard up in, you do fucking Fall River on a Friday, New Bedford on a Saturday, then you do Bob's Bar and Grill on a Sunday. You do that a couple times a month, so you're making, $1,200 a month, $600, whatever it was, Oof. So as a 15-year-old, that's enough to,
So what was your intro to the independent wrestling scene that got you on this path?
So we're diehard fans going to a local. Do you remember MTV True Life?
Of course. Rapid Delivery, Roy Fox, man.
So that company, James St. Jean, they were following Tony around. The Eastern Wrestling Alliance.
My cellophone,
Joey Gamache.
Pause 1 second. Maybe my 5th show ever. I hit Amanda Storm with a chair.
So Amanda Storm.
Yes, that show.
Before I could drive legally in the state of Maine, Amanda would pick me up. And I asked some of the guys a couple weeks ago that I was on a show with up there, where's Amanda? And they haven't heard from her in years. Yeah. But Amanda, sweet girl, nice girl. But I'm a young kid. I haven't been exposed to a lot in life. She'd pick me up for a shot down in fucking New Bedford or Taunton. because I couldn't drive. So the promoters would have to figure out a way for me to get to these shows.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, all right, you got to drive. Can you pick up the kid? And they'd be like, all right, yeah. Just pay the gas. And she'd pick me up, and then, but really early. And then she'd drop me off at like a fucking Denny's. And then she would go, she wrestled gentlemen.
Yeah. Dominatrixy.
Yeah. No sex. She was not an escort. From what I know, I'm not putting that out there, but she would go wrestle guys. Like she'd like to wrestle them in the apartment and get paid. So I would sit as a 16-year-old. Think about a 16-year-old kid from a small town in Maine just sitting at a fucking Denny's.
Getting some moons over my hammy.
With your backpack.
Yeah.
With your fucking shitty high... Oh. Hit shitty Highspots boots. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hey, my first pair of Highspots boots ripped the fuck out. After
Mine did too. So
matches.
Fuck it. All right, they were from Mexico.
Michael thankfully has made good.
My gear was from Hot Topic, but my boot. Fuck it. Whatever. I got paid. Thanks, bro. Get me on WrestleCon, dude. I edit that out.
No, man. No.
But my boots blew out. They were shitty. Anyways.
Yeah.
But to think about a kid just sitting there waiting for this girl to go apartment wrestle. And then come pick me up, and we just don't talk about it. And then go to the show, and then drive fucking 3 hours home. Like, think about like a 30-year-old chick just picking up a 16-year-old kid. Like, how weird is fucking life?
It's strange, man.
You know, and I'm wearing a fucking hood, wrestling as the Portuguese Sun Dragon. And she's the Black Widow apartment. I'm like, what the fuck kind of life am I got myself into? But I loved every minute. I still do.
Yeah.
Like when I was in WWE, bro, I'm like, man, when I'm done here, I'm fucking never wrestling ever again.
Yeah.
But dude, like the day I got released, I got so excited to like go do all these fucking. It's weird. I honestly thought after 15 years in WWE and me being 38 now, there's no like I'm not gonna go run the roads anymore, man. You know, I've invested my money. I got my company back home. You know, but I'm fucking working every weekend on all these shows, and I'm having a blast. It's weird. I guess I really do. It's like that. Like analogy, like the guys are like, I fucking like when I was in WWE, I'm like, I fucking hate wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that like really love the business. Then like that guy that's from football or whatever who's like, man, I fucking love this shit.
Yeah, man.
I love this. They never get in the ring ever again when they get released.
Never, man.
So I guess it's like the guys like me, they're like, fuck, I hate this.
Yeah. Well, no, the thing is, it comes out as I hate this, but what it really is
I love it so much that
I hate that I have to do this in this way.
Yeah.
And it's so far from what you started off at, and it's just like,
it's you know what, dude? It's like being in a band.
Yeah.
And you and your buddies just loved making music.
Yeah.
And now it's like you have to make music.
Yeah.
You have to make music.
Well, you have to play other people's songs.
And you have to
you think
but
suck.
you can't make your music. You have to do it in a way that everyone has to like. It's not your music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you don't play it just the right way, when you get back through the curtain, someone's going to tell you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's art. It's art. Man. You know, just because I don't like rap doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
That's what wrestling is, man.
Yeah.
There's no fucking... I mean, obviously, if I'm putting someone on the wrong side and dumping them on their neck, that's not right.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're fundamentally sound, dude, and... Yeah. Like, Teddy Hart, like, some people might not like his shit in WWE, and I don't, maybe I'm going way off, but, like, I kind of like his shit. It's a different style of music, as long as he's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, if you can detach some of his...
But like it's
some of his maneuvers and techniques from the piece of shit guy that he is.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh man, that's you can.
But I mean, I like. But if
you
like
know too much,
but like, I'm just saying, someone that far over here compared to like a WWE guy.
Yeah.
Who's to say that's bad and that's good?
Yeah.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Fight forever. Don't give up. Fight forever. Don't give up. Fight forever. Fight forever and ever and ever and ever.